afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to episode 55. This is Pat Mayer from Akron, Ohio, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if you are here, let me know. It now says that I am finally live. So leave a comment, thumbs up, and welcome. Let's see, what is this? November 15th already, so we're halfway through. And the time is just absolutely flying. So I hope you had a good weekend. Our summer is gone, and we had some snow yesterday. I think it's mostly all gone by now anyway, but it's cold, and that's the part that's hard to get used to. These little things keep popping up here. So I'm going to get started. So I hope you had a good weekend. I think I said that as I was trying to get things off of my screen. And make sure everything is working. And let's get started. Okay. There are some things I need to mention to you before I start on today's project, which, if you looked at the title, is Tips and Tricks with Embossing Folders. And first of all, we have, hi Gloria, thank you. I better turn down to my table so you can see what I'm showing. First of all, we have a seasonal sale. Say that 3 times fast. Starting tomorrow. Hi Sue, welcome. This is probably what we would call our early Black Friday. Everybody's doing Black Friday earlier this year with the world in its still topsy-turvy motion. And so we're calling it a seasonal sale, which is good because that means you can get things before the holidays if you're still working on your cards and so on. But anyway, it's tomorrow, the 16th, through Thursday, the 18th only. And that goes until like 11:55 at night or 11:50 at night. So, Fran, welcome. But here's the deal. 10% off cardstock. So check your supply of cardstock. 15% off ink pads. So if you've been holding off getting the amazing in color ink pads for this year, that's part of that too, except ink pad bundles. Like you can't buy a group of 12. I think they come in groups of 12 in the color families, 10 or 12. Or third-party pads. Those would be the Versamark, Stays On, and the Memento Black. Those are not part of it. These are just the Stampin' Up! Ink pads. And lastly, 20% off dies in the annual catalog. Not in the mini, but in the annual catalog. And that is an amazing deal. It truly is. So if you were thinking about a bundle, this would be a better deal just to get the stamp dies or the dies 20% off and then get the stamp set if you want to. So, kind of mix and match, and you can call me with an order or place it online, whichever is good for you. So anyway, that's tomorrow. Next, the Eden's Garden promotion is still going until the end of January, I believe. But it's going to be in the January to June mini catalog, but it's available now as a pre-release. We always do that. I've mentioned that before, and I think I've done a couple projects with it. So this will stay around. These 3 things will not. The evergreen specialty paper, the cotton paper, and the garden gems. Those gems are just awesome. So you can get the whole collection too. So that's the other thing. And last, I mentioned this last week, I'm not pushy for anybody to join, but this is an amazing opportunity should you want to just be a happy shopper and get 20% off of your orders. And right now, through the end of November, it's 75% plus tax, free shipping, so that's a big savings, and you get to choose $125 worth of product. Normally the starter kit is $99, but don't think of it as being a demonstrator. Yeah, you get some business supplies with it. Don't worry about that. It's just a great opportunity and a great deal. But not only that, you can make that 125 go even further because these things are on sale for the next 3 days. So I don't know if it's something that you want to think about in the next 3 days, but it's an awesome deal. So with that, let's get going with some tips and tricks with embossing folders. First of all, this is my mess. I've had to get these off my table. So this is the mess that I've been doing with embossing folders. I'm sure I will use these at some point. So let me know, do you have embossing folders? Do you use them with your die cutting machine? I think they really step up a project, but typically what we do is put them down and then cover them up with something else because it becomes like a layer on a card. And that's perfect. But I've got some other ideas for you too. So this was my mess. This was my creative process as I was getting started with this. And I've done some of these things before, but over the weekend I was at a virtual Stampin' Up event, which would normally have been in Salt Lake City. I believe it would have been there this year. And we were there from Thursday night, all day Friday, and all day Saturday, getting ideas and hints, and that's where I got to see the new catalog coming out in January to June. And it's just motivational, exciting. We get lots of ideas. And then I was on Instagram looking for ideas there. That's a great place for ideas there in Pinterest. But we have an artisan design team, and they are from all over the world. And the one gal that I saw something about was, I believe she's from Canada. Brenda Nelson, I believe, is her name. And she had a project on her Instagram feed that I thought, oh, that's so cool. It's something I've done before, but just haven't thought about it again. So in the annual catalog, it is an idea book, and she happened to mention in her description about a project. Let me zoom in here on page 26 in the annual catalog. And what this is strips of an embossing folder. And this happens to be the seashells. Yeah, this one happens to be the seashells one that's in this suite of products here over on this page. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. And so it just got me to thinking it's time for some Christmas cards, maybe. Maybe I can incorporate that idea. So that's where I'm headed with this. Then I've got a ton more ideas too that I just had to go with and play around with. So let me zoom back out again. Embossing folders are found on page 154 and 155 in the annual catalog. And we have actually 3 different kinds of embossing folders. And I'm not sure if you knew that or not, but we have hybrid embossing folders. We have 2 of them. And a hybrid means that you can cut and emboss at the same time. And let's see what this one is. Okay, the Merriest Frames one, let me show you a better picture of it here, where the black background is. It cuts and embosses at the same time. Now, I'm not going to do this today. I believe I've done a video on this already, and this is what happens. You put this in here with your cardstock, run it through your embossing folder, or excuse me, your die cut machine, and it cuts around this and also embosses at the same time. It's amazing. When I first saw that, when we had it in the annual catalog, I thought, oh my gosh, that is awesome. So it's one of my earlier videos, and I think it's the one I've had probably the most views on. Then we have another one called Art in Bloom. And this one, here's a sample card with that. It cuts out, and I don't have the die out for that one. It cuts out these flowers and also then embosses that panel back there. And that was the first one we had. So that's pretty awesome too. Then we have regular 3D embossing folders. And these are, just give a deeper impression on the paper. Okay. And then we have regular embossing folders. And I'm not actually going to emboss today. I'm just going to show you the techniques and a couple things that I've done with what I've cut out. But these have different sandwiching on the die cut machine. And this has a different sandwiching on the die cut machine. So I can link back or put it on the Facebook comment what video that you might want to watch in YouTube to go back and watch that. So with that in mind, let's see what I've got to do here. All right. Put things away, out of the way, whatever. I have embossed 3 panels of that Merriest Frames hybrid in Mary Merlot, Blushing Bride, and Sahara Sand. And I'm going to cut those into some strips and make a pretty Christmas card. And let's see, let's put this on here. I've cut these to 3 3/4 by 5, so they will fit on, the strips will fit on a regular card base of 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And this frame inside, yes, I'm going to cut down through that, but then I'll be covering it over a little bit with, to put the sentiment in. All right, so I'm going to use this little mini cutter. And let's see, what did I say? These were about 5. So I want to make sure that I get this pretty little edge here. So I'm going to cut that, and that just happens to be about 3/4 of an inch. So let's make these 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and I probably don't need, I'm going to do the other side over here because I want all 3 colors. One, two, three. Yeah, there we go. They don't all have to be the same. So we've got 3 of those. I'm not going to cut through all of this. So let's do some with, I'm not going to pay attention now to how I'm cutting them, because that's the fun of it. That's how I have all of this mess here. They're all different sizes and shapes. And let's do one more of those. Now, these are not going to go to waste. I mean, this other piece here will not go to waste. So I'm going to just throw those in my little pile over there. let's do one more of these. So I probably have more than I need, but then I'm going to put it together. Again, nothing will go to waste. All my little scraps will be over there. But I do want to give you a tip about something. Now that I've got my little things here. If I was cutting something, let's take this little piece here. Let's say I was cutting this and I was going to make that a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm not going to use it. And I'm afraid that it would slip, or I've got the little part here that keeps me from getting cut. I've got that pulled out so I can show you this. And also the same thing works in a cutter. Not all cutters have this extension over here, but if you have a cutter that you want something small and you can't get it without making it slip and you won't get it straight. So let's say I want this tiny little strip over here. I don't want to cut myself. Take a Post-it note. Let's see, let's put that right here on the paper. Take a Post-it note and use that to hold your paper down, and it will keep it secure, and you can cut exactly where you want to be, if that makes sense. Okay, so that Post-it note will keep you from getting cut or trimmed or whatever. Gives you a nice slim piece, and you can move right along. So there's a little cutting tip for the day. Those will go over in my scrap pile. All right, let's put this together. Okay, first of all, I'm going to put a piece on the inside. Okay, I know my glue is working. It worked all morning, so. Even though this is a light colored cardstock with the Sahara sand, and by the way, Sahara sand goes with so many things. So if you don't have that color, it's a great neutral. It's a great neutral. I love it. So that's on the inside already, so I have to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. Now, how am I going to plan out my strips here? I'm going to take a piece of Terran tape. Now, I know this is very unforgiving, and I'm going to put that on a little panel that won't show. It's a little panel that's about, a little more than 4 inches long. Terran tape is a great adhesive, and I'm just going to put a strip down the center here. Love this stuff. Okay, how did everybody survive the first full week of standard time? It's been crazy. I hate it getting dark so early, but just keep in mind that within, middle of December, it will start getting longer days again. All right, so how do I want to plan out my panels? I've got more here than I need. And I do want to show, let's zoom in a little bit more here so you can see some of the pretty design on this. So these don't even need to go straight. That's the best part about it. And they can overlap a little bit. Let's see here. And I've got several more samples to show you. Let's see, let's put this one in the center here because that'll get covered up. And let's see, another Mary Merlot. Yeah, that's going to go that way. And another Blushing Bride. So there's my panel of prettiness. And that's going to go on the card like this. And I'm just going to leave the back plain. But I am going to pop this up with dimensionals. And I have a dimensional tip for you too. And this was one that we learned about at the on stage. That's what we call it, on stage at home, since we have to meet virtually. To keep your cards from getting so puffy when we put dimensionals all over everything. So the tip was add dimensionals, especially, okay, backing up, especially if you're going to then put something in the center, like a sentiment or other parts of embellishments. Put your dimensionals on the edges, and don't skimp on your dimensionals. We love those, and they really pop up a card or any project. So put those on the edge, not in the middle. I'm not putting any in the middle back here. So let's try to take these little backings off as I go too. Put one here. I know it seems like a lot, but it's not really. Let's see, let's put one here. And that's let's do one more. What the heck? Okay, so there we've got lots of dimensionals on the back, but not in the middle. And okay, got them all. They're all shiny. Shiny means that the little backing is off of there. All right, so I'm going to place that on my card. And so your puffiness is here on your edges. If you can see that down there. See if I can do that in my card. There. Ah. Okay. There we go. So you can see the popping up there, but not in the center. But if you take a panel that's going to go in the center and put dimensionals on that, then your puffiness won't be double. Does that make sense? If I had put dimensionals on the back here on my white strip, and then also put dimensionals on here, then it's even higher. So that could be a postage issue as well as just too much thickness for your card. So let's see, what am I going to use here? Okay, I'm going to use this one. And this is actually the panel that comes out of, when this is cut out, that comes out of this. There's an extra die cut to get this panel out of the center of this embossing folder. So I'm going to put that there and use the Merriest Moments stamp set. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to use a joyful Christmas to you and yours. And this is photopolymer, so it's easy to see. So let's put that down here. Maybe I need to zoom out again a little bit better. Okay, that's kind of shiny. Okay, and add that to my block. And I'm going to use Mary Merlot. This is a color I don't use a whole lot, but it's such a good, deep, rich red for the holidays or anytime, actually. It's a good wine color, too. So let's stamp that in the middle of this. So that's going to go there, and let's add some ribbon. This looks like somebody crocheted it. It's beautiful, beautiful ribbon. And it's kind of an ecru color, so it goes well with the Sahara sand. So how am I going to do this? Okay, I want a strip of that behind. So now I can cut it off. It's, oh. There we go. Okay. Here's another little tip too. Little mini clips like this will hold your ribbon in there so it doesn't go all over the place. Okay, so let's put that there. I'm going to put this on top. And I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals. They're in the center to hold that down, and then put dimensionals on the sides of the sentiment. Better take the backing off of there. There we go so far. I'm not done yet. This needs a couple more things. I have already die cut or stamped and die cut. Some of the elements from this stamp set, which is so pretty, has some great sentiments there. So we've got that, and I'm just going to add, let's see, what, I think I'll use mini glue dots for that. Okay, I'm done using dimensionals. I think we've got this popped up enough. Okay, these don't want to come off. Okay, what's wrong with my mini glue dots? I'll use my finger. and then it ends up on my fingernail. All right, let's add that there. So it's just going to go on the edge. And then I have some greenery that I can add over here. Let's see if I can get these to work. Let me try this other box. This might be better. Add these little pieces of greenery here. And let's put a little piece back there. So there we've got that. And I have to see what's wrong with this full thing of glue dots, so I'll put that away for now. And then finally, these are the holiday rhinestone jewels that were carried over from last year. So let's put a few of those on, and that will be it. These have a pretty red on here. So I'll put some there, one there, and one here. And I'm just using the red ones. Put one up here on there. All right, so there's the card. Okay, so it's a little busy, but I like it, and it was fun to do. Let me show you some other samples. Okay, I'm going to trim this off just a little bit. There we go. So there's today. Thank you for that. Yes. And let's look at these other samples, all made with different ways to use embossing folders. Okay, here's one where I took the macrame embossing folder and just cut it in strips. So that didn't use any other color. This is the polished pink. Great color. That's one of our in colors. So love that one. That one I had done quite a while ago and forgot about it. This was my original prototype sample, and then this was the one today. So this is this one, and this is Blushing Bride, Sahara Sand, and Calypso Coral. How about that? Who would think? But they're good colors that go together. Here's another Christmas one with the same embossing folder, but I used Shaded Spruce and Poppy Parade. So this is a little bit more whimsical, but it's the same one. And on this one, I used the regular rhinestones and colored these with a Stampin' blend. So those aren't anything, they're not from the, what is it, holiday ones. So there's that one, just that cute little bow there. Here's one with kind of the same kind of idea, but again, one embossing folder, 3 different colors, and this is Polished Pink, Gorgeous Grape, and Bermuda Bay. And the little Love and Hugs comes from, I forget where that is from, but it's a stamp and die set that you cut out all of these things at one time. If that makes sense. I need to demonstrate that sometime, maybe next week. I don't know, we'll see. So that's that one. Here's one where you can take an embossing folder and just cut it in 2 or 3 pieces. This is like a 2, about 2 inches. Yeah, this is a 2-inch strip. And then I cut what was left over into 2 strips. So this is 2, and this is a 2-inch square. Yeah. And it just gives a little bit more dimension to a card, but you still have the embossing folder part there. And then a tip on this one, I used a blender brush and used the craft white ink pad to go over it, because this is Blushing Bride. The background is Flirty Flamingo. And there's something on there. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a little piece of paper. It didn't belong there. So that's that one. And then here's the last one. And this is from a new stamp set. We actually used this yesterday, over the weekend. Not yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. One of the new stamp sets. So this is kind of monochromatic. This will be in the new mini catalog. And what I did here was to lay down my strip of designer paper on top of a plain piece of basic white, and then run all of that through the embossing folder. And that's the Timeless Type embossing folder that's in the current mini. And it embeds, that's what I like to call it, it embeds that designer paper right into the embossing folder. So you do it all at once. So that's that one. So those are my ideas, and I hope you got some good ideas for your own cards using embossing folders. So I'm sure I'll be doing more of those. Put some of my little bits and pieces here away. I never throw anything away. That's probably part of my problem here. But then I find it. So I hope you had a good time today, and I will see you again next week. Will be the Monday before Thanksgiving. Can't believe that it will be Thanksgiving, and then soon we will be into December. So have a great rest of the week. Stay warm, stay safe, and take care, and happy stamping. Do some creating things. Bye-bye.